And I'm coming at you, and I told you all that I had a video, right? That I'm gonna share, um, about a secret Pentagon workers sending Luke Beasley, which is a YouTuber that covers all different kind of talk, just like I do, just like other people do, and they're sending him messages of very discontent of what is going on with their alleged boss Pete Hedzik. Okay, so I just thought I'd come on and do a little snap talk live version of the show before I come on tonight. I will be on actually at 8:30 tonight p.m. Eastern time, because this is Pennsylvania, to do the tap art, the intuitive tap art. I can't wait for that. I'm sorry I wasn't on last night, but listen, it's all good. And for you people to say I'm homeless, listen, hey, if I was homeless, I'd tell you, I'd be the best damn homeless person. I'd tell you. Okay, but this is Snap Talk Live, everybody, and welcome to this. And then tonight I'll be on at 8:30 for the tap art. But I wanted to talk about this because I have this video I want to show you, and it's by a YouTuber. I mean, the young man is on fire, and his name is Luke Beasley. And you know what is going on at the White House, everybody? What the fuck is going on at the White House? I mean, you can't make this shit up at all. What's going on? Pete Hedzik, allegedly. Okay, so Luke Beasley, he is an on fire YouTuber. I mean, there's so many of them that people send information to. They cover stories. I cover stories. Listen, we all are in the scoop of covering stories. Well, he put in a thing up that anybody can send him, information about something, what have you. Even the government workers that aren't happy, they can just send him information. He'll talk about whatever. Well, he got inundated, everybody. He got inundated with secret messages from employers that allegedly their boss allegedly is Pete Hedzik. And a lot of people, I mean, can't even imagine. But I'm going to show you this one message, and I hope and pray to God that these people don't get exposed, because this is just how they're feeling, right? And this is the emotions they're letting out. And just like I told all of you, YouTube is dropped down, going to be one of the number one outlets for news anymore. It's not going to be what you see on TV. It's going to be all of us people dropping the mic for everybody that we care about and everybody that we don't even care about, right? But Luke Beasley is on fire, everybody. And I'm telling you, the young man is on fire, because they're sending these employees of the Pentagon are sending him messages with discontent, very serious discontent, and things that are going on. And so, as Pete Hedzik is sitting back, ending the cyber operations against, Russia, he's got his employees that work under him that are messaging YouTubers. How sad is that? Okay, can I ask all of you, how sad is that? What the fuck is going on, excuse my language, when you have employees, government employees, that are this sad off at their jobs, that they're reaching out, right? Hi Pedro, hi Martin, that they're reaching out to YouTubers to get their scoop out and things that they want to get off their chest, because they know us YouTubers ain't gonna tell nobody, right? And you don't believe me when I say this is the new wave of news. Did they go to Fox? Absolutely. Did he go to CNN? Did he go to any local news and tell them this? Absolutely not. Got to come from us YouTubers, right? I'm going to show you this. And this, man, I'm telling you, you got to hear this. But it wasn't just him. he was inundated. I mean, literally inundated with messages from so many people that are allegedly working under Pete Hegseth. What the fuck's going on over there? And Pete gotta sit back now, okay? Because Pete Hegseth's doing so much, but you gotta sit back and learn the job. You're just new at the job. Yes, you were a soldier, but you're new at this job. This job takes guts. This job takes determination. This job takes time to learn. Right, Pete? So let's hear this, everybody. Come on, Luke. Let's hear this. Let's show everybody what we're working with here and what we're trying to do here. Come on.
I will simply state that I work for an agency under the Department of Defense. So now I guess ultimately his boss's boss is Pete Hegseth. Mm-hmm. We are facing an insider threat with multiple possible known and unknown motivation.
This is scary. This is scary, everybody.
This is stunning. So a few days ago, I brought to all of you that unprompted, we'd been receiving a bunch of emails from anonymous emails that were identifying themselves as workers within the federal government. And they were sending different documents that were being circulated to give some insight into how chaotic and wild the policies of the Trump administration are as it applies to these layoffs, the 4 firings for every 1 hire, other people just expressing general concern about, I don't think Americans get what it'll mean in their lives for all of these federal government programs and grants and the NOAA with hurricane tracking and the FAA with air travel. And I hadn't mentioned it publicly that at lukebeautyshow.com/contact, you could, lukebeautyshow.com, if you click contact, you could contact the show. And so if there were any other folks working in the federal government who wanted to do so, they could. But then I mentioned it in that video. And since then, we've had floods, a flood of emails coming in. I want to share one with you now.
Luke.
This time it's someone who works, they say they have to keep it vague, but in an agency under the Department of Defense. So you can see here, we obviously have the information blacked out.
Luke.
But I really encourage you to listen, sort of hear this guy's whole email out. I know it's more reading than I normally do, but I think it's impactful. So
hold on so it stopped, everybody. I don't know what the heck. Okay, it's charming.
This new veneer fixes
hold on
ugly
1
teeth,
second.
and it's bringing back
We have to
smiles
go back
to millions of Americans.
I'm just gonna. There we go. Let's
subject
get on it.
line is people have no idea what civil servants do. I still wear combat boots to work, he writes. I served in the military for 10 years, then spent another decade as a defense contractor supporting the warfighter. My role as a contractor was eventually deemed to involve inherently governmental tasks, leading to my position being converted into a civil service role. Without going into great detail for obvious reasons given the current environment and my concerns about reprisals against myself, my organization, and its leadership, both civilian and uniformed, I will simply state that I work for an agency under the Department of Defense. So now I guess ultimately his boss's boss is Pete Hegseth. As a veteran, I know I qualify for VA benefits, but I never pursued them. The current Secretary of Defense has stated that VA benefits cause veterans to become overly dependent on the federal government. The only benefit I have used since leaving the military is the GI Bill, which allowed me to earn a bachelor's degree. For those who chose to avail themselves of VA benefits they qualified for under law, they earned them all. I now have approximately 25 years of federal service. However, when considering all aspects of my career, I have dedicated 35 years to the DoD, defending the United States in one capacity or another since I was 20 years old. I deployed to the Middle East in support of the global war on terror while frocked as a GS-15. I performed the duties and carried the responsibilities of that rank, but without the corresponding pay. I worked 7 days a week, 12 hours a day in an austere environment, assisting the warfighter and their leaders by enhancing their lethality and survivability. For my efforts, I was awarded the GWOT Medal, GWOT Medal, and the Meritorious Civilian Service Award. Wow. I'm just going to keep reading. Normally I add analysis as I'm reading, but again, let me just deliver this all to you. One day, I may be in a staff meeting with a general officer or colonel. The next, I might be out in the field in cold rain and mud, working alongside junior enlisted personnel and NCOs. While federal workers are not technically supposed to exceed recorded hours, I've always done so when necessary, whether assisting a unit or responding to requests from a young soldier or senior leader in need of my expertise. I've delivered capabilities to the warfighter in an efficient manner, often saving the government money, even when it made my job more challenging. I've always honored my oath to the Constitution of the United States and endured personal hardship to accomplish my mission. In return, I was led to believe that if I kept my head down, did what was right, and performed my job well, I could reasonably expect job stability, decent benefits, and a respectable retirement. While I understood I might earn less than my private sector counterparts, these benefits, along with the satisfaction of continuing to serve my country, made it worthwhile. So before going further, this is the type of individual that, without regard, Elon and Trump are openly wanting to make their lives a living hell. These are the people that carelessly they're pushing out of government. Now, for the sake of political expediency, my fellow civil servants and I are being vilified and demeaned at the highest levels of the executive and legislative branches, as well as in national media. This has turned a significant portion of the American population against us. We do not see ourselves as parasites who do not hold real jobs, or as individuals undeserving of fair compensation. The government has received full value from our service. We are not villains who deserve to be demonized. Some of our civilian counterparts have been injured by enemy action in war zones. We do not need to move to the private sector to be productive. This is more than just a job for us. We do not deserve this additional and unnecessary burden of stress on ourselves and our families. This constant barrage of hostility is demeaning and demoralizing, and I see its effects on myself and my colleagues.
Okay, I'm gonna pause this for one damn second. I'm gonna pause this for 1 second and comment about this. Okay, so I can't imagine. Okay, I can't imagine what all those other emails were about. I can't even imagine. I wonder if Luke is going to cover the many emails that were sent to him, because this is interesting. So this person still works, under Pete Hegseth. And what is going on with this situation? So there's so much weird shit going on anymore. And us YouTubers gotta cover it. Let's cover this, Luke. This is sad. When you gotta have
comfortable.
People
I would much prefer silent respect or even indifference over the constant uncertainty, harassment, and degradation I now face while trying to focus on my mission.
Oh my God.
I believe the American people are best served by individuals like us who see our government service as more than just a paycheck. In return, we expect not to be treated as disposable assets, as is often the case in the private sector. This is absolutely brilliantly written, and I really appreciate him writing it. To the young service members and their leaders with whom I regularly interact, I'm not perceived as a bureaucratic impediment making their lives harder. Quite the opposite. Commanders have gone out of their way to recognize my contributions with awards such as the Commander's Award for Civilian Service, demonstrating their appreciation for my support. I have thick skin, but I cannot help but feel that the government and people of the United States, whom I've faithfully served my entire adult life, have turned against me.
Wow.
And yes, it bothers me. It bothers all of us. On a broader scale, we are concerned for our country. Like any large organization, inefficiencies exist. But in my 35 years of service, I have seen very little fraud or abuse. For instance, I cannot fathom how ghost employees could remain on federal payrolls for more than a single pay period. I've personally worked to save taxpayer dollars, a fact reflected in my performance evaluations. I have not been significantly affected positively or negatively by diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. In my decades of federal service, I was only peripherally aware of DEI until it was elevated to a prominent issue in recent months. It has never impacted my ability to perform my mission. I suspect most civil servants and military members would say the same. I know the so-called government bloat is not driven by federal worker salaries and benefits, which account for only about 4% of the federal budget. I know that there are not significantly more civil servants today than there were in 1970, despite the U.S. population nearly doubling. We do more with less. I know that what is happening now is not about efficiency. This is beyond a mundane political dispute or policy disagreement. We are facing an insider threat with multiple possible known and unknown motivations.
Wow.
We do not deserve this, and our country deserves better. Whew. And I think this is important. And that's why I appreciate this person. They said they don't like being thanked for their service. I do thank you for your service. And I appreciate not just what you do, but then that you're willing
to just put it out,
to speak out, at least in this manner. Because it matters that people hear it. And it's really easy to demonize a group of people on the work that they're doing when it's all intangible. But when we put stories and words like this to the group and the people that are being referred to, it's very impactful. And what he said is so true, which is, okay, you have on one end this phenomenon where you're demonizing people who are actually the people we want in civil service.
Wow.
So as you push them out, who are you replacing them with? Not people who are going to be as qualified. And then number two, the jobs that are being done are for citizens. And so it is about this person's life specifically and their colleagues specifically, but it's also about the citizens who aren't in the federal workforce who are going to be hurt. Their ability to thrive will be hindered by a government that doesn't work as functionally for them, which then a government that doesn't work as functionally for them, doesn't work as effectively, can be pointed to by MAGA to say, see, the government's bad at everything. Let's dismantle it more. And that's the tragic cycle. Thank you so much. Anyone else with your story, feel free. Again, LukeBeasleyShow.com. There's a contact tab. And this was really moving to me. I want to share it with you. And I'm curious to hear all of your thoughts about it in the comments.
So everybody, this
morning
really,
on TikTok today, an incredible transformation on
this
TikTok.
is scary. I mean, like, what is happening when secret worker, the Pentagon workers have to go to Luke Beasley or any YouTuber to get information out there? There's something wrong with our country. There's something wrong with our government when this happens. This shouldn't even, I've been doing Snap Talk Live covering so much topics and so much news ever since 2013, and I've never in my life heard of anything like this. There's something wrong here when you got government workers that work in the Pentagon that are you know what I mean, going to YouTube and messaging them secretly that there's dire issues and stuff that are going on. And actually, there was more to that than just that, to be honest with you. I don't even know there was more at the end, but I don't know why that wasn't there. But it's really sad. So you can go to Luke Beasley and follow him. I mean, he covers, they're sending him this. So I'm anxious to find out what are the other messages that they're sending him. What are they about? Like, I'm interested in what else they're talking about and what else is going on, because obviously they're not happy with the work conditions with their boss, which is allegedly Pete Hegseth. I think Pete's got a lot of learning to do at this job, and so he's got to talk to his staff, and he's got to talk, and instead of going to YouTube, he's got to have his staff go to him and not be afraid to go to him. But if they're voicing, because this is okay, think about this, everyone, and I'm not making this up. Now, I mean, he even got soldiers and stuff like that are messaging him. This would not be a good situation if our military, people in the military, boots in the military would literally turn against Pete Hegseth. That would not be good. That would not be good. If all these people are messaging him about this stuff that's going on, you don't want your soldiers turning against you, do you? I mean, I'm just saying, man, this is crazy on every level. I've never heard of this. I've never heard of this. Instead of worrying about Pete Hegseth taking and dismantling government, dismantling cyber operations against Russia, you need to worry about your soldiers that are about to turn on you. Your workers that are about to turn on you. That's something very serious, everybody. That's very serious. When your soldiers are about to go unhinged and your workers are done. You know what, everybody? I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, how are we actually, man, this is crazy. This is sad. I mean, this is sad on all levels of everything that we can ever imagine. And I tell you what, he's gonna turn that ship around and get his boots on the ground, his soldiers, not war fighters. I don't call them war fighters, they're soldiers. To get in good graces with him. Because right now it don't seem like his soldiers are in good graces with him. To his face, they're in good graces with him. But behind her back, behind Pete's back, I don't think they are. That's very concerning. Because if your soldiers decide to turn against you, your ass is in trouble. Man, I'll tell you what. They got to run these departments. I mean, this isn't, no, I got to go. I'll see you tonight, everyone. This is just unreal. Because, you know, just like Luke said, I mean, this is unbelievable. When you get that amount of people, soldiers, everybody that are not happy, that's not good. That is not good. Because to your face, they they have to your face like you, or else they know they will get punished. But the thing is, behind your back, it's a whole different story, and that is not a good story, if you know what I mean. That is not a good story, Pete. Come on now, dude. That's not a good story. This is serious stuff that's happening. This isn't funny now. So now we're sitting and thinking about this, okay? And I'm taking it at a different spin. Because if these people and our soldiers are sending Luke Beasley, and not just Luke Beasley, they're sending Midas Touch, they're sending Legal AF, they're sending all these people messages. Okay. So people got off, but you don't want to hear the truth, right? This is sad. Because think of the consequences of what would happen if our soldiers decided to turn against Pete. This isn't funny. This isn't funny. And I would be scared. I'd be really nervous that people are, I would be nervous. Pete, you got to turn your ship around. You have got to figure this out. Because your employees shouldn't be messaging YouTubers of dissatisfaction. You are the defense secretary. You're not just some Joe Smo. You're the defense secretary. And your soldiers are messaging Pete, Luke Beasley, that they are not happy. That is not good. That's not good. You have got to turn something around, Pete, before our soldiers turn on you. For real. Everyone, I'll see you tonight at 8:30 for Intuitive Tap. And it's getting really weird. And you're worrying about closing down cyber operations against Russia. But you got a whole nother bad issue that's going on, such as your soldiers behind your back not liking you. No. Are we going to get through this, man? This ain't funny. This is literally not funny. When you got a bunch of people, that's scary. Do you realize how scary that is? Soldiers. No, no. See, that's beyond. Okay, I'll see you tonight at 8:30. Everyone, you don't want to miss a thing. Stay tuned. There's more hot talk on Snap Talk Live. Everybody, I will cover it as I get more information about different things, and if we hear any more messages that Luke's gonna unveil and find out what's going on, because there was, I'll be honest with you, there was something else to this, and obviously maybe they cut it off when I was on Facebook, because there was another extended version of this, and and it's not there, and I showed this on my Facebook page, Teen M Wright. Man, I tell you, they got to get something together, and start respecting soldiers, start respecting um the oath of the office that they taken, and to appreciate everybody, because it sounds to me like none of these soldiers are being appreciated, and not damn near anybody at this point in time. Oh, wow, that's and this is so funny, because he ended these cyber operations against Russia, but guess what? Do you realize that Russia and China at this point in time right now are sending feelers out there for the government workers to work for them? Maybe Pete Hezek doesn't know that. That is a very real threat, because what they want to do is they want those government workers, Russia does and China does, to work for them, so they can get some secrets, the in and outs of the government working. Go figure, Pete. And you want to take this cyber operations against Russia down, and now Russia and China are knocking on our American workers' doors to work for them. Okay, now. All right. So everybody, we'll cover some more tomorrow for Snap Talk Live, but I'll see you later on at 8:30 tonight for a little intuitive talk, and I'll see you then, everyone. Have a blessed night until then.